Join me today as I show you a way to reverse engineer a design for starting your art. Now, let's dive in. Welcome, SeaRoxx. Well, our board size today is a 10 by 10, it's all primed and ready to go. And we're going to start off doing something a little different. We're going to take a little cup, a little acrylic ink, and some marbles, and we're going to use this to create our design. Okay, super simple. Put the ink in the cup, and then put the marbles in the cup and swirl those around till they get covered in paint. Then we use our handy dandy tongs to dig those little suckers out and start creating your design. So why did I use the marbles instead of just drawing something on there? Well, I wanted something very organic and that didn't look like it was planned out, and this achieved the effect. And seriously, who doesn't love painting with marbles? Okay, so I'm happy. I got a design that I liked. Now I'm going to take my faceted lacquer or crackle paste and I'm going to use a piping bag, and I'm going to put some of that into the piping bag and just pipe those lines. If you're enjoying today's video so far, I'd appreciate it if you could splash that like button, subscribe, and click the bell. Once the crackle paste is dried, then there's little cracks or breaks in the lines. Now, I do have to apologize for the video quality on this. For whatever reason, it was wonky. It does clear up when I switch to the iPhone, so I need to figure out what the heck is wrong. But anyway, I started with a navy blue and started to fill in the patterns that I saw and just painted to my heart's content. Once I was happy with the dark blue, I went ahead and added a natural gray, which I did end up lightening up, and truth be told, all of the colors except for the navy got changed and tweaked just a little bit. Now, outside of the natural gray, everything is a monochromatic with a navy, so the only thing I used was navy blue and varying degrees of white paint. Now, this next part is where the magic begins to happen. I'm using a gold paint, and I'm going to paint the tops of those lines or ridges. And boy, let me tell you, does that add some absolute richness to this piece that you wouldn't get normally. So let me just talk at you for a minute for a couple tips and tricks. The gold paint, do that last, okay? And make sure that your colored cells, whatever you paint them, goes right up almost to the top of those ridges, because it's going to be a lot easier to go back with the gold than it is those other colors. Now, if you're wondering what all those like lumps and bumps are in the cells, this piece had two other lives before it, which came to a tragic death twice. And this is its third life. So that's actually under there is crackle paste that got covered up with paint and filled in. So now it's just texture. But isn't this gold beautiful? So much easier to use than the gold foil too. So it doesn't make as much of a mess. I decided it needed a little extra. So here's my extra, which is sand from the Dollar Tree and some alcohol ink. And all I did was put sand in a little cup, add some alcohol ink, and then just let that dry, and then it's ready to use. So I needed to figure out how to get that sand to stick, and I used a matte gel medium, matte being the operative word, but you could have also used a Mod Podge, and that would work as well. I just didn't want it shiny, and the matte gel medium was perfect for me. I just painted it on like I would paint, just a little thicker because it does dry quickly. And then I just sprinkle that sand right on top and make sure I got everything coated and filled in. I left it for a couple hours to dry, and then I shook everything off. And if you've made it this far, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, click the bell, and that way you'll never miss a video in the coming year. Now the next step is one of my favorite things about this piece. I'm going to use my Judikins Diamond Glaze, and I'm going to use it just like this instead of using resin. Now I'm only adding it to the navy blue cells or sections. And I'm using this because it's a little easier to use than the resin, because I knew I had those little cracks and I was afraid that the resin would seep through those cracks and ruin the whole dang thing. And so this was a little more controllable. The one downside is that I think I may have used it a bit too thick for the area that I was using it for. And I got these little micro bubbles that I couldn't get out. I did send them an email and haven't heard back as of yet. But the look that it ends up giving, it kind of dries down and creates more of an enamel than resin does. So it's a completely different look, but yet it still gives you that gloss and shine. And I love that contrasted with the texture of the sand and the matte finish of the other cells. After this is dry, we are ready for our reveal. First off, look at the cute little edge detail from those lines and how they drip down. I just added gold to them. So cute and pretty. The texture in the sand surrounded by the gold really adds so much. And then don't forget those blue pools of water. You know, those little micro bubbles, you can kind of see them, but they look like, water bubbles. So actually, personally, I don't mind them. It's just such a different look, and I love the contrast of the colors and the textures. It's just perfect to me. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed yourself and perhaps you're inspired to try something like this on your own. I invite you to join the SeaRoxx family, like, share, and subscribe with your salty and not so salty friends. You can find me on other social media platforms as well as my website, and I also have an Etsy shop. Thanks for watching, and until next time, go beach or go home.